Well, looks like it's that time again. Hello everyone, welcome to the GHPC developer stream for May 2024. I am currently the only one here, so it's just us, just a chill little dev stream. You guys can ask questions. I will do my best to keep up with the chat, but if I miss your question, it's not personal, probably. And we'll see what we can do. We've been very busy, as always. We have some new stuff cooking. Some people have already guessed what it is, or if you're very astute, you may have noticed. I think I'll just go ahead and show you, though. That sounds like the way to go. No Kavi, yeah. He has some other things to do. I'm not sure if he'll be in later or not. That's the wrong screen. Technical difficulties. Let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Okay, I think that'll have to be good enough. Apologize for the mix-up. It looks like Streamlabs has forgotten my config. That's fine. All right, take it easy. So, we are going to take a look at a new vehicle. Actually, let's do it in the range. Yeah, I don't have my camera working at the moment. Apparently something's gone wrong with my stream config, but we'll get through it. No infantry today. Infantry are still cooking. There will be more teasers when they're ready. What we do have is something a little new. This is the T-64B. It has a few differences from the T-64A. Not as many as most tanks have between them. But in this case, you may notice there is no longer a coincidence rangefinder rib on the roof. And this box over here on the left is a little different. This is the missile guidance unit for the radio-controlled semi-automatic command line of sight anti-tank guided missiles. The missile does indeed know where it is at all times. It knows this because the 1G42 fire control system tells it. So this is the same interface as the T-80B. Same exact fire control system. So you can fire off Sabo, Heat, AG, whatever. But now I'm going to switch my ammo type to number 4. And it will load the gun-launched 80GM. You notice now we have a new character in the ammo selection. It looks kind of like a Y. It's a Cyrillic letter, which indicates a missile. The Kobra is a little bit unique. It's unlike any missile we've had so far in the game in that it has multiple flight modes. And that's why we took a little bit of extra time to bring it in. So what this will do is it will try to go above the line of sight for the middle of the flight path if it's a long flight to get clearance over ground obstacles. And let's go ahead and shoot at this long range target. Actually, let's do this one. So what this will do is it will rise above the line of aim to make sure that it has good ground clearance and doesn't block the signal, and then it will drop back down to the center when it gets near the target, and it uses the fire control system to tell the missile when it's time to do those things, so you need to laze your target to get this to happen. Let's try it. There we go. So it's all automatic. In real life you could change missile modes manually if you wanted to, but we've just tied it to the laser rangefinder. It seems like the easiest way. There are 3 modes. The long range mode is that elevated mode, or if you laze and the range is over, I believe, 1,920 meters is the point where it starts. Anything past that, it does elevated mode. If it's under 1,920 meters, like this one at 1785, it will do a normal mode, which is where it fires at an elevated angle and then immediately drops back down and lines up. Like that. Now there's a third mode. The third mode is if you are under 1,000 meters. And I am out of missiles, so I cannot show you in this tank. It only carries 2 in the carousel, and none in the reserves. So what I'll do is I'll hop into the T-80, because that also has the missiles now. We mentioned when it came out that it would get the missiles eventually, and that is time for that to happen. So let's fire off the Sabo. Okay, so the third mode for the Kobra is direct mode, or you can kind of think of it as an emergency mode if you want. This happens automatically if the range is under 1,000 meters. That's not under. Let's find one that's under. Okay, here we go. Under 1,000 meters, the fire control system knows that there's not enough time for the missile to recenter if it's fired from an elevated position, so it will aim the missile directly forward wherever you're pointed, and it will go straight to the target. This is the same as a tow missile or any other MCLOS missile guidance, typical ones. Now the fun thing about this is you can force it to go into this direct mode if you want. So let's say you're firing at a helicopter or something at long range. If you reset your range to 0, which the quick shortcut for reset range in GHPC is control range down, it will do this direct aiming mode no matter what your distance is. Because remember, the tank doesn't know what you're looking at, it just knows what you've set it to. So let's say this tank out here is a helicopter. I've set my range to 0. If I fire, the missile will go exactly where I aim. Now it's just a typical semi-automatic command to line of sight guidance. Yeah, the disadvantage of this mode is that if you don't have good ground clearance, you might lose it in the early parts of the flight before it stabilizes. But it's also better than missing the target entirely, so this was the trade-off they made, that you just have multiple modes. The tank will try to pick the best mode for the situation, and then you can override it if you need to. There is also a third vehicle, and it's probably less exciting than the other two, but it's still new. This is the BTR-70. This is the Soviet armored personnel carrier that they deployed after the BTR-60 and before the BTR-80, which kind of makes sense. It is functionally identical as far as capabilities go. It's still a KPV with a PKT as coaxial. It's still got the same sight, slightly different hull design, and when infantry are able to get in and out of BTRs, they will do so from slightly different door positions, but here it is. It's just as you'd expect. So you'll see this in campaign. I can't remember if there are any missions with it. Yeah. I think this was the first one where they added some hatches between the wheels. Yeah, there it is. And then there's also top, of course. Although I think those might be intended as the air guard hatches. I'm not super up on my BTR lore. Someone asked about German loader sounds. Funny you mentioned that. Let's get the T-55. So something that we've been missing for a while is a call out when the loader reloads on anything besides the T-62 or the American tanks. That has been corrected. So let's try. There you go. The loader actually says something in the T-55. Let's try a BMP. And I wonder if we have a Russian BMP in here. Is this a Russian one? No. Where is... we'll have to find it in a mission, that's fine. But the Russian loader also works in the Russian BMPs. That's finally fixed. Yeah, BMP-2 is Russian, but it doesn't have a manual loaded gun, so you won't hear the voice. This is just a belt fed. Did he pop smoke? Yeah, he did. You can see the caps missing. Alright. Someone asked if those were casings on the BTR-70. Yeah, BTR-70 has casings for the KPV. They eject out the lower, the front underneath the barrel with a slight delay for the action to cycle. I think that's also on the BRDM. It might not be working on the BTR-60 at the moment. I'd have to check. While I'm looking at smoke, by the way, a little bit of trivia about smoke in the game. Currently, all smoke can be seen through by thermals except for white phosphorus artillery smoke, which we have given to the Pact forces in many missions. There's two different kinds of artillery smoke in the game, and they look very similar. It's hard to tell what it is unless you look in the briefing to see whether it's white phosphorus. But in general, we let the Soviets and the East Germans have smoke that will help block NATO's vision, so it's usually the white phosphorus, and that's just a game design decision. The NATO smoke is usually stuff you can see through with thermals, which is fine for you if you're calling it, and then all of the onboard smoke launchers on the tanks and the engine smoke, all of them can be seen through by thermals, regardless of the type. So that's something to keep in mind if you are trying to conceal yourself while you are driving a Soviet tank. It does matter what the optics of the enemy vehicle are. So if you're facing an M60A1 and you pop smoke, it's going to work really well. If you're facing an M60A3 TTS, it will not work because they have thermal sights. The AI does take that into account. What else have we got? I'm gonna see really quick. Did we roll any? No. Okay. Let's find another mission where I can show one of the other things that is new. We've got new missions, Destroy in Place and Ruined Regiment. These are, Destroy in Place is an M1 versus T-80 mission, finally. And then Ruined Regiment involves a Bradley and a bunch of Soviet enemies. They're both pretty fun. I've played them. Yeah, look at my mission completion. That's pretty cool. Let's find a mission that has a bunch of M1s, because I want to show something else. Just trying to think what the best one would be. Yeah, T-64B is the same armor package as T-64A, because the T-64A had multiple kinds of armor throughout its lifetime, but by the end of the development cycle, they had settled on the Ultra Porcelain Ball armor, which is the same as the armor array of the T-64B. The difference you'll see in GHPC, though, okay, I'm trying to find a specific random thing. Hold on. The difference you'll see in the T-64B is that it has the weld-on plate, which I think we may randomize as well, because it was a field upgrade or something that they would do at depot, I think. But it has the 16mm high hardness steel plate, very similar to the upgrade on the T-72M1 hull. So that's going to set it apart a little bit in armor protection, but not much. It's essentially the same as the T-64A. My guys are not cooperating with me today. I'm trying to roll a somewhat rare decoration so I can show you. Someone asked if there's a new armor structure for T-80B and T-64B. No, those were made late in their development. And in 1985, they would not have had them deployed, as far as we can tell.
Loader ready, stable loaded. Gunner ready, stable index.
I'm gonna keep doing this until it works. Somebody asked the Warsaw Pact white phosphorus smoke is just a gameplay decision. It wasn't used IRL. No, that's not true. Everything that we put in here was used IRL. We just decided that we would favor white phosphorus artillery smoke for Warsaw Pact specifically because it's the one that helps against thermals. I don't know how often they used it IRL in proportion, but we decided to make it the main artillery smoke for them. Here we go. Oh, now they give me 2. Great. Okay. So this looks a little different. This is a camo net. It provides camo. This is a somewhat rare cosmetic at the moment. It's possible that in the future we'll have a way for this to show up more on defending tanks that have been in place for some time before the mission, things like that, but for now it's just a random roll. It is $0 if you want to go ahead and buy the non-existent Camo Net DLC. It just comes with the base game. Yeah, that's right, only for the Unheard Edition. Yeah, so these will provide a little bit of camo. It makes it slightly harder to see a hull down tank in thermals, although that's mostly going to affect the NATO players. I'm going to try to find a T-80 example as well. And you will not have to make a PSN account to see the Camo Net. Let's try this. The AI ammo selection setting, someone asked if that stops auto ammo select in your own tank or all tanks. The AI tanks are currently not able to choose optimal ammo. The system that tries to pick the right ammo for each situation only applies to voiced crews at the moment. It has not been connected to the regular AI gunnery, so none of them do it.
Loader ready, Sable loaded. Gunner ready, Sable apex.
The AI already do have the ability to restock ready racks, in regard to a question in chat. They just wait till they really need to, so usually they've run out of ready ammo. I'm not sure where they're staging from, so let's just play the mission and hope for the best. For people asking about West Germans, we're working on it. We'll show it when it's ready. We don't give answers about when things are coming because we don't know until they're about done that we can announce when they're ready. I'm just gonna let this mission play out until I see T-80s in case the Camo Net shows up. But in the meantime, is Commander MG working on T-64B? No. Commander MGs have not been worked on anymore since the M60 got its Commander MG. We'll add them when we feel we have time. And some of them will require crew to come out the top and use them. The Abrams, I think it can technically be operated from inside, but some of the other ones cannot. They will all arrive eventually, but I cannot tell you when. Oh, I could have played the big T-80 mission, that's true. Well, I'm already in this one, so I'll let it run. What about the Fun Drive mission? Fun Drive mission hasn't been updated in a long time. I think it's probably even in the Legacy section. So it doesn't have all of the vehicles.
Identified.
is an obstructed target, my dude.
Target lost! Gunner table PC! Traverse left! Away! Target ceasefire! Gunner heat chopper! Traverse left! Target lost!
That's not what I want to hear.
Gunner heat chopper! Traverse left! Heading! On! Identified!
Oh boy.
Fire! Target lost!
Yeah, he's angry. When will fire getting get fixed? When we have time. I actually don't think there's been a single when question in the history of this game that's been answered, just as a tip. Yeah. When will you start answering when questions? I cannot answer that. Is it known when we will get Commander Objects View? You guys are really not getting this when thing, are you? Alright, so I'm told that there is an advanced guard showing up.
Gunner heat tank! Traverse
Sure
right!
enough.
Target lost! Gunner heat tank! Traverse right! On! Identified! Fire Sabo! Gunner heat tank! Traverse left!
I'm gonna take this guy.
On the way! Next target! Target! Next target! Gunner Sabo PC! Identified! Fire heat! Away! Target! Next target! Gunner Sabo PC! Traverse right! On the way! Target! Re-engage! On the way! Target! Re-engage! Next target! Gunner Sabo PC! Traverse right!
Is that guy dead?
Heading!
Oh yeah, here we go. See that Pact. Oh, that's a missile. Well, before I was rudely interrupted, I was going to point out that the Pact smoke didn't show up anymore in my thermal sight. But I guess we'll have to get a new tank. Only the driver lived. Wow. Well, it wouldn't be a dev stream without a massive skill issue, would it? I'm gonna call Cass. Let's see how they like that.
Gunner, Sabo, tank. Traverse right. Next target. Gunner, Sabo, tank.
I have a feeling this is a bad
Identify.
position.
Fire. On the way. Target. Re-engage. Target lost.
Fuck off.
Gunner, Sabo, tank. Traverse right.
Oh, come on.
Heading. On. Identified. On the way. Target lost. Gunner,
There we go. They gave me the consolation prize. Alright, I was gonna look for camo. Hell yeah. Guys will see this and say, hell yeah. Let's see. I need... No. I might have to go through the after action to find what I'm looking for. I see now we're doing ballpark questions about when. We give answers when we are teasing something as a feature that's coming soon. If we don't say, here's a completed thing in the game as a teaser, it's probably not soon. And we don't give any detail beside that. Okay. Since the game didn't want to be cooperative, I'm going to go through AAR and look for camo nets this way. Ooh. And if we still can't find anything, I will try the T-80 missions. Really? Nothing? I guess that's the trouble with random, is that sometimes you just miss the whole time. Yeah. Oh, so this reminds me about ATGMs. Since the AI currently can't choose their ammunition, they will never fire a Cobra until they run out of all their other rounds. At some point in the future that'll change, will give them the ability to pick. But the Cobra missile is not noticeably different from all the other Pact ATGMs as far as penetration power. So even though it's really cool and it's deployed from a tank and it's unique, it's not like a god weapon. It's not gonna one-shot the Abrams, it's not gonna get through the cheek armor. It's just a new missile. I know there's been some speculation about that. Cobra will not be the ultimate weapon in the MBT fight, it's just gonna be a new one. Yeah, this was not as protected a position as I thought, man. Alright, let's, speaking of missiles, let's go do some actual skill issue gunnery. We have made a pretty significant change to the missile flight model for the BMP. And the best way to see it is in the showcase. So as some of you may know, the missile on the BMP-1 is a manual command to line of sight missile, MCLOS, called the 9M14 Malyuka. The problem with this missile, if you consider it a problem, is that you steer it directly. You don't aim your scope and have the missile align itself, you have to just steer the missile. This is pretty hard to do compared to just lining up on a target. And to make matters worse, in GHPC, it actually wasn't true manual command steering in the past. It was a hybrid system where you were actually aiming an invisible semi-automatic command to line of sight aim point in the scope, and the missile would align on it. Now, that was pretty easy to get the hang of if you put enough reps in, but it had a kind of a false training effect. It would auto-correct so that the if you were to let go of the controls, the missile would stabilize flying directly away from you, like a tow missile would once it lines up. That is not something a real manual command missile would do. If you aim a manual command missile over to the side and it starts flying to the side, and then you let go of the stick, the missile will just keep flying straight in that sideways angle, and it will go out of your scope eventually. You have to do all of your own corrections. So to demonstrate, let's pop our missile shield on. Let's fire. I'm steering this missile with very small inputs, and I have to counter steer all of them. It is actually extremely difficult to get a handle on. Oh, I think I got it. But this is much harder if you're used to the existing fake MCLOS aiming system. You will need to retrain. And for people who are new to the missile, well, everybody always says, how the fuck do I aim the Malyutka anyway, so nothing's going to change there. But they will be learning a different way. Some people do think it's easier, or they like it better. It's very easy to overreact, though, because you have to plan your own corrections. And you still have turbulence to deal with. Come on. Did I get it? I think I got it. It wasn't a centered hit, but... Anyway, this is much more difficult than it used to be, in my opinion. But it's also true to life now. The best way to steer the Malyutka is to give little tap inputs and let go of the mouse in between, kind of like tapping the stick and letting it recenter. And so if you're careful, you give little nudges and you don't overcorrect and dump it, you should still be able to hit stuff. It'll just take a minute to line up. The AI are cheating bastards, and they don't have to worry about flight modes. They have a way to line up missiles on their own, so nothing changed about the AI. If we want to make them inaccurate, we can tweak their numbers, and that's how we accomplish that. But for the human players, you will need to use all skill on the Malyutka. That was the case before, but now the skill is slightly different. See if I can go for an off-axis target. I'm going to go for one of those tanks on the right. Oh, that was an overcorrection. Yeah. It takes some practice, but it can be done. Malyutka is good against infantry if you get close, but yeah. Someone said the missile flare disappears if it goes down too far. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. This isn't the final build that's going out on Steam. We still have a couple things to work out. So I think one of the ones I'm going to try to correct is making that missile flare more visible. We have a little to-do list thing. Does this get rid of the locking thing in the code? No, the turret does still lock when the missile is launched because it is using the mouse just like the turret. We still are experimenting with ideas about if we want to separate the missile steering, but for now it's the same thing. It's the turret control. Let me see those hits. Yep, hit, hit, hit. Look at that. The rare non-skill issue. But if you look at the flight path, you can see the struggle. Whoa, whoa. Look at that. Look at that. All confidence. I knew exactly what I was doing the whole time. Let's see. People asking about infantry. Just a crumb of infantry news. Let me describe what's going on with infantry very briefly. They work, and they need some polish. I have seen a demo where an Abrams is driving past a bunker or trench kind of position, and a couple of RPG gunners pop up and fire into the side of the Abrams and kill it. I have a feeling that will be happening a lot once they are released. No, not in a month. They need some time to cook still, but the actual basic functionality and a lot of the assets for them are in development and are working at some level. We can't show yet because it's the kind of thing where the artists working on them don't want to show half-baked work because it makes a bad impression. So I'm not going to be showing you infantry teasers right now. We've showed very limited stuff to patrons. Some facial animation stuff, some weapons, like they've seen the rocket launchers. So we show teasers to some people early, but we still keep a lot of stuff really close to the chest. All the in-action combat stuff for infantry is still in development, and we have not shown it. When the time is right, when we are confident in what we are releasing, we will show you guys. It's not time yet. I love how loopy the Malyuka flight paths are. Crew animations. Oh, a note about crew stuff. One of the things we're working on, I know we've commented on it before, the fact that eventually you'll have separated crew stations in the tanks. That's on the roadmap. Lots of things on the roadmap are in development at different stages at all times. We're working in parallel. We have different people working on different things. So we've made progress toward most everything on the roadmap at this point. The crew stations in particular, I know people have asked for interiors in the past. We're still not making full interiors, but it's very likely that the immediate area around your face, like the periscope viewfinders, will be correct for each vehicle. This is still in development, so it's possible that it'll turn out to be too tedious and we would dump it or something, but it appears that you'll be able to click into your optics and look around through your periscopes. So it's not a full interior, but it does make it feel like each tank is unique and you are getting the actual visibility parameters of the vehicles, which I think serves the purpose of an interior without requiring us to spend 500 hours modeling each vehicle's interior. Not exactly like an Armored Fist 3, because Armored Fist 3 just had a flat graphic of the gunner's panel. This would be more like, I think Postscriptum had something like this, where you can see your viewfinders and it's kind of a dark void. Maybe like Squad. Yeah, I haven't played Squad in a while, but I think it's something like that. But yeah, it's a similar kind of thing. People always ask about full interiors. It's not that we don't think full interiors are cool. The problem with full interiors is they take a long, long time to make. And we are not a large team, and we don't have large team money. At some point the money runs out, and if you spent all your money on trying to model full interiors, you lose. We can't do that. Quick look at these two T-64s. You can kind of see the difference in the turret equipment. So on the T-64B on the left side, there's the larger gunner's sight on the right side there, from our point of view. And on the left side, from our view, is that missile guidance box that sends the radio signals. On the T-64A, you've got this rib that goes across the turret, and it has two viewfinders for the coincidence rangefinder sight. So that's how you tell them apart. Also on our model, T-64A has a basic upper glacis plate, no weld-on add-ons, and T-64B has the weld-on plate. You can see around the bolts and near the front edge there's that very obvious seam. Somebody asking in chat about what is the money situation. I don't think any team that I know of openly discusses their finances, because it comes with, you have to know what a typical situation is to even be able to judge what that means, and there's no point. But I can say we are very conservative with our budget. We keep enough money on hand to keep developing the game, and we make our decisions in a way that doesn't threaten that. So at the moment everything is fine, and we will be able to keep making the game and release it in 1.0. I don't see that changing unless something goes very, very wrong. But I'm very confident that we will deliver. What else? Yeah, slow but sure, exactly. Let's see, what else can I do for the last little bit? Let's try a T-64 mission. I'm gonna play an old favorite, which is Obscene Odyssey. This is, I think, the only mission in the game where you're guaranteed to get Not One Step Back as your soundtrack. What are the bolts on the front plate of the T-64 for? I think they are for mounting mine clearing equipment or something like that, but I'm not positive. A lot of the bolts on the fronts of tanks are for mounting points, but I'm not completely up on my Soviet equipment design. Yeah, let's get the good stuff here. So, 1G42 fire control system, just like the T-80. The T-64B is a very cool tank. This is actually the tank that fire control system was invented for. It existed before the T-80. Unless I'm mixing my history up, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And so this tank is basically a combination of two different tanks that were already in the game. If you know the handling and the arrangement of the T-64A, and you know the fire control system of the T-80B, you know the T-64B. You just combine them. But it's cool. It's a new tank. And it has the Cobra and all the other stuff that comes with the Soviets.
Подкалиберным. На 30. БТР. Цель понял. Выстрел. МЗ. Цель.
How dare you still be alive?
Огонь. Выстрел. МЗ. Недолет. Выстрел. МЗ. Есть цель. Есть цель. Прекратить огонь.
Hold on, it's time for plane spotting. German F4. Hold on, there's something I need to do. Since I am running alone today, all of the moderation is mine to do. And so banning a spam bot from the chat is a good activity. Alright. I loathe bots. Don't even get me started. Before I left Reddit for being a total shit platform, I was heavily involved in trying to fight spam bots. Alright. Let's see. A quick note on armor protection. The T-64B is not going to be anything special. It's the same as the T-64A, except for that add-on plate, like I said. You are going to die to M833, you're going to die to tow missiles, especially ITOW. If you get lucky, you'll stop some stuff. T-80 remains the only tank that can seriously put up a fight against the advanced US stuff. Although, we are likely going to see less M833 as we work on the game, because we have reliable information that the US was having trouble fielding M833 in 1985. A lot of units were still running M774 as their main round, and the production and delivery of M833 were behind predictions. There were situations where they had a little bit of M833 available, and then unit commanders would say, look, I don't want just a little bit of the new round, I want all my tanks to have the new round. Because, you know, it's a pain in the ass to mix two different types. And, yeah, so the situation is, you're very likely going to have M774 as your most common round. We've made an adjustment to the campaign. Interesting. Okay. Let's see if I can do a missile against this guy after this round. You're in the campaign, you're going to run out of M833 very quickly. And as that develops in the future, we'll probably try to simulate the shortage in some more sophisticated way. I'm going to reset my range for this target. Remember what I said earlier in the stream about how you can force emergency mode to get a direct aim? I'm going to try that here once this guy stops moving so fast. Wow, he's really booking it. Hold on. I need a better position. I've got a Cobra loaded, so whatever I'm... Oh. Nope, guess it's gonna be a tank. I don't know if I killed him. I don't think I did. Oh, that's bold, Cobra. Tank. Oh, it can't have that. Let's go for lower plate through the dirt. What did you see over here? I saw someone ask if the steps for the T-64 got reduced. I'm assuming you mean the zoom steps in the 1G42. The answer is yes, we reduced it for the T-80 as well. Come on, die already.
Огонь! Выстрел! МЗ! Есть цель! Огонь! Выстрел! МЗ!
Alright, he seems confused anyway.
Подкалиберный. На 50. Цель потеряна.
First time chatter says, should I add another voice acting to the USSR crew? If what you mean by that is you're applying to be a voice actor, you can send an email to the email on the GHPC website, and we can do an audition. Will the AZ autoloader be getting a different sound from the MZ? Yes. We have them already recorded, we just have to change something about the way they're hooked up before they can be used. I can't say when that'll happen because you know the drill. Does the T-64B get the turret balls? Yes it does. After this mission, after I get unceremoniously wrecked, I will show the after action briefly and you can see. Just want to see how far I can get before that happens. Loading position for guns, how far are they? The loading position for guns requires a change. There needs to be a change in the fire control system code to support it, and we've not done that yet because it's not high priority. This is the same answer that we've given every other time this has been asked as well. Let's put it this way. When there is a loading position for guns, you will hear about it. It'll be shown. Yes, but when? One of the questions of all time, surely. Okay. Now I'm in a bit of a dangerous position. Let's see if we can get some flank shots here.
Подкалиберным. На 35. Танк. Ты понял? Выстрел. МЗ. Цель. Цель.
Oh, hello.
Подкалиберным. На 37. МЗ. Огонь. Выстрел. МЗ.
Well, that was only a matter of time. Okay. Let's see. Oh good, the Abrams are back. Yeah, this mission has changed again. So some of you might remember when this mission was released, it was part of a series for an April Fool's event. I think it was 2 years ago, maybe? It was the introduction of the BMP-2. It was East Germans. It was a pretty tough mission. There were multiple cast strikes on the blue team. There were Abrams. There was all kinds of stuff. Then it was changed. It was an NVA mission against a slightly reduced force. Pretty easy. Now it's changed again. Now it's a Soviet mission, T-64B. And the Abrams are back, and there's a lot more action than there used to be. M1 tanks are difficult to destroy from the front, yes. They have pretty protected ammo, pretty large spacing. You really have to be precise, even when you can penetrate with the good Soviet ammo. guy? Oh, they sent rocket planes? Come on. Okay, there were still some bombs. Yeah. Look at that, I won. What do you know? You guys thought I couldn't do it. Alright. So just because someone asked about the balls, yes, the T-64B does have the balls. Look at them. I know you're not really allowed to show balls on stream, but if you guys don't tell anyone, I won't. So there you go. What was I doing? Oh, eaten by the trunnion. Crushed into the barrel. So what I'm getting here is that I'm actually too good at gunnery. And, you know, it was too centered on the target, and that's why I got killed. Oof. Okay. And with that, we're past time, so the thing that we do after streams is Patreon Q&A. So I'm going to be heading to the Discord server. We do those every month for people who are patroned for the project. They get to ask any question, and we will answer them within reason. And those are also recorded for patrons to listen to after the fact. So I'm gonna head over to there. Thanks guys for joining me, and we will see you for the next stream.